Power cannot touch me.
Challenge accepted.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another marvelous video. Comic book heroes often attain their likeness owing to their list of rogues. Although there is no denying that Batman's vast list of evil, psychotic villains are the best, there are a few in Superman's list who could indeed stand out in the entire DC universe. Darkseid could be one of the strongest villains Superman has ever fought, along with characters with brute strength like Doomsday. But there has been one with both access to power and a genius mind. We are talking about Brainiac, who could be a challenge for Superman along with the entire Justice League with his world-ending threats. In today's video, we will be digging deep into Brainiac's anatomy and what makes him Superman's unique, formidable opponent. So without any further delay, let us begin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Brainiac? What does he look like? Brainiac was introduced to the world of DC Comics in Action Comics issue 242, published in July 1958. The character was derived by Otto Bender and Al Plastino, and was based on a character named Ramato, from a story arc from the Superman comic strip release between April to August of 1958. Action Comics issue 242 showcased a brief fight between Superman and Brainiac, while traveling as guest passengers on Earth's first manned space vessel. Clark Kent and Lois Lane had just crossed Earth's atmosphere when they encountered a strange alien flying saucer. Clark soon donned a pressure suit and pretended to spacewalk back to Earth, but in reality, he had to change into Superman and avert the danger without losing his identity. Once he moved away from Lois's view, he changed into Superman, and the first thing he did was push Columbus back towards Earth, away from danger. Flying towards the mysterious spaceship, Superman experienced a super strong Ultra-Force shield around Brainiac's ship, which he could not penetrate with all his might. Meanwhile, Brainiac used his hyper-ray to shrink and steal several Earth cities, including Rome, Paris, and New York. These miniaturized cities were kept sealed in special bottles in his spacecraft. Superman flew back to Earth to Metropolis, which was the next city taken away by Brainiac. Superman was also shrunk along with the rest and trapped in Brainiac's special containers. Superman, now in his spaceship, escaped from the bottle and confronted Brainiac. Brainiac appeared in a green humanoid figure with a pink vest and green pants. There were no symbols or tech gizmos attached to his body, and the symbol of a diode on his forehead that we are now familiar with was also missing. The comic issue even showcased his pet monkey, Coco. Brainiac's next appearance was in 1960's Superman issue 141, which showcased Superman going back to the past in his world Krypton. Brainiac's appearance was the same, and there was his monkey as well. Brainiac's next appearance in Action Comics issue 275, released in April 1961, showcased the character having metal strips on his head. In the issue, he intended to defeat Superman by exposing him to the red-green kryptonite. The issue ended with Superman defeating him and sending him off into the distant past. In Superman issue 93, Brainiac's story was mentioned. He was from a planet named Brainiac. Once after a space voyage, when he returned to his planet, he found everyone dead from a plague. Since then, he went to explore different planets and people to repopulate his home. However, his version from Action Comics had a different story, which was elaborated in a Legion of Superheroes backup story showcased in Action Comics issue 276, published in May 1961. The issue introduced Brainiac 5, who was instead a hero. Unlike his descendants, who were sworn enemies of Superman, he chose to join the team of superheroes from the 30th century known as the Legion of Superheroes. Brainiac 5 was the universe's only 12th level intellect. Finally, Brainiac was incorporated with a complete diode symbol on his forehead. In Superman issue 167, released in February 1964, Brainiac's story was explained. Long back, Brainiac was a robot created by the computer tyrants of Colu. The computer tyrants were a supercomputer created by a Coluan scientist to automate Colu's way of existence to maximum efficiency. Brainiac was tasked to spy and invade other worlds. The diodes on his forehead are mentioned to be the electric terminals of his sensory nerves, which are necessary for him to function. The computer tyrants then provided the villain with a young Coluan boy named Vrildox. He was designed as Brainiac 2. In numerous other appearances of Brainiac, he was shown to be covered in a cybernetic suit. What is Brainiac's 12th level intellect? Needless to say, Brainiac is one of the smartest beings in the DC universe. Silver Age Comics quantified his advanced mental capabilities by calling him a 12th level intellect. However, it is pretty vague unless we know what a 12th level intellect is and why it stands out from the rest. Well, in the DC universe, The level of intelligence is determined by how many trains of thought an individual can focus on at a specific time. Thus, a 12th level intellect could focus on 12 different perspectives to study, plan, and contemplate. Human beings are capable of focusing on 2 different perspectives, but some genius minds like Lex Luthor, Batman, Mr. Terrific, etc. are considered to be on level 3. Other beings like the Thinker, the Brain, and Hector Hammond have shown higher levels of intellect, but not above 10. Brainiac's 12th level intellect is owing to his Coluan heritage, who had already attained level 10.
Para Zor-El. Until recently, I had thought my collection of Krypton to be complete.
Can Brainiac control minds? Among a wide array of powers, Brainiac has been shown to possess telepathy. He was shown to possess psychic powers and telepathy after he possessed the body of a metahuman named Milton Fine. Fine was completely unaware of his powers, but Brainiac sensed it and possessed his body, thereby gaining his powers of telepathy. It was shown in Adventures of Superman issue 438, released in March 1988, in the 7th episode of Static Shock Season 3. Brainiac was shown controlling the minds of the entire Justice League, but with the help of Circuit Board. In the 7th episode, titled A League of Their Own, there had been suspicious content downloaded in the Watchtower systems. Flash went along with Richie, who had been acting strange lately, to check on the systems. Soon they both went missing, following which Static, along with the rest of the Justice League, went to find them. Soon Flash, mind-controlled by Brainiac, arrived and placed circuit boards on all the other members, thereby getting the entire team to be mind-controlled by Brainiac. However, Static's circuit board fell off due to his electric aura, and as the story progressed, he helped the Justice League members free themselves from Brainiac's control. Can he take possession of the bodies of other beings? Yes. Brainiac can possess the bodies of other beings. He has done this on more than many occasions. Superman Volume 1, Issue 423, released in September 1986, showcased one such incident. The issue had an extremely sad and perplexing beginning. After returning to Earth from space, Superman learned about the massive damage that Metropolis had just encountered. The being behind all of it was Bizarro, and once Superman confronted him, he stated his bizarre meaning. Realizing that he was not a perfectly imperfect duplicate of Superman, he tried fixing the loose ends. Since Superman's world, Krypton, was destroyed, Bizarro destroyed the Bizarro world and then attempted to destroy the world where he was born, starting with Metropolis. However, he then realized that Superman didn't kill, following which he murdered several innocents. Finally, he concluded that Superman must live and he himself must die. Thus, he stabbed himself with a shard of blue kryptonite and killed himself. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor, at the North Pole, found an inert head of Brainiac in his robotic skeletal form. Soon, the parts of the head began attaching themselves to Luthor's head. Slowly, he took complete control of his body. Brainiac revealed how he took control of Luthor's body, and together, they sought plans to exact revenge on Superman. Another incident of Brainiac taking possession of another being's body was shown during the Doomsday Wars story arc. After Milton Fine's body was damaged, Brainiac had only a short time to live. With the help of Prin Nock, a fellow Coluan assistant, Brainiac retrieved the body of a deceased Doomsday and used his body for his new host. With the host of unfathomable power and rage, Brainiac attacked the Justice League and emerged to be a big threat to them. However, Doomsday's raging mind fought back, following which Brainiac chose to leave his body and find a more suitable one. In Justice League Unlimited TV series Season 2, Episode 12, titled Divided We Fall, Brainiac incorporated himself into Lex's body in the form of nanotech. The issue also showcased the might of Flash, who managed to take down the fused Lex Brainiac when the entire Justice League failed.
My guess is that the eyes are the most vulnerable spots on the home.
Yeah.
He can manipulate the technology. Brainiac possessed the power to control almost any technological device. He is a master technopath, to say the least, and can control, alter, and manipulate nearly every form of tech and also incorporate it into himself. Brainiac's skull ship is controlled by his mind, and all systems are integrated into his consciousness. He has been shown to hack systems and networks without any hassle. Brainiac created several forms of android bodies and even converted his body into a digitized version as and when it required. There were many instances, one being in the Threshold comic series. In the Injustice game storyline, Brainiac had hacked into the Batcomputer, which certainly speaks volumes about his grasp over technology, as Batman's systems are heavily protected. A good example could be Batman Superman issue 12, titled Planet Brainiac, Part 1, where Batman and Superman face cybernetic versions of their rogues. The Panic in the Sky storyline, which stretched from Action Comics issue 674 to Adventures of Superman issue 489, showcased Brainiac taking control of an alien AI known as Warworld and its controller Maximum.
It's ambitious of you.
Does he have regenerative abilities? Along with a wide array of abilities, Brainiac could regenerate his cybernetic parts at his will. He could regenerate his body even from a single code. As mentioned before, he regenerated himself from an inert skull. Brainiacs could drain other beings of their trace metals in order to sustain themselves. Even electricity could do the same. While battling, when the superheroes destroyed the mechanical tendrils used to restrain them, Brainiac regenerated them instantly. Why does Brainiac collect worlds? In Pre-Crisis, the story of Brainiac stated that he was once the ruler of a planet named Brainiac. A disease killed off all his people, and since then, Brainiac has wanted to replenish his world and repopulate it by stealing cities from other planets. Using his Hyper Ray, he shrinks cities and keeps them in his bottles. Can he reproduce? Brainiac had a son codenamed Brainiac 2, originally known as Vrildox 2. He was an adopted son who rebelled against Colu on the computer tyrants. However, unlike his father, he sought to make the world a safer place. He was one of the most intelligent beings in the universe, and he founded the interstellar heroic organization known as the Legion. At some point, Rendagel, aka the Durlan, met Vrildox and was made to serve him as a slave. Later, he teamed up with Vrildox 2, who was also treated as a slave, and together overthrew and banished Brainiac from the planet. Vrildox 2 was then handed over to the Dominators by the computer tyrants as a gesture of goodwill. We are also aware of Brainiac 5, who was the descendant of Brainiac and Brainiac 2.
While you've been living here on Earth, I have roamed the universe. These orbs contain all the knowledge I've collected.
Is he immortal? It is quite an interesting topic as he is more of a machine, and machines do not age, and things that do not age do not die of old age either. Now moving on to the fact that Brainiac could heal himself from nothing if there existed a single code. This ability stretches his limit of survival to an extensively high level. This leaves us with the final question. What would happen if the last code of Brainiac was destroyed? What type of weaknesses does he have? Despite being almost immortal, Brainiac was shown to have a few weaknesses. The first is sensory overload, which happened when he first arrived on Earth. His senses were overwhelmed by the noise of humans and all the other species, including microbes and germs. He is dependent on technology, the absence of which could often render him volatile and weak. Brainiac was mentally linked to his ship, and if detached without any warning, it could lead to him being weak. His lack of emotions is also a weakness, since he had never learned to feel or express emotions or establish any interaction. He was likely to be betrayed by his allies.
I am Brainiac.
Marvelous verdict. So we have finally come to the end of the video, and we hope you have liked our content. The entire design of the character evolved drastically. His appearance changed from normal clothing to enhanced suits, which made him look deadly. His algorithm is made for acquiring power at all costs, and he will not bend his motive for any reason whatsoever. Thank you for watching the video till the end, and stay tuned for the next one.